Okay, our pole sitter for Coors Light pole sitter for Sunday's race is Denny Hamlin, and he drives a number 11 FedEx Ground Toyota. Denny, you're coming back to a racetrack you've won before. I can remember being in here after you won a race, and so just talk about now. You're on the pole. You're working like the Dickens to get into the championship round there, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship at Homestead, Miami. So just talk about your run out here today and your outlook for this weekend.
Obviously a good day. We just kept getting our car a little bit better with every run today and qualifying run. So definitely out of the blue from my perspective. Didn't think we had a pole winning car by any means. And if you're watching the TV, I definitely thought that top 8 or better would be a huge bonus. So that was a little unexpected, but showed us that we have speed in our car. We just got to figure out how to get it optimized for 312 laps around this racetrack on Sunday.
Questions for Denny Hamlin? Raise your hand. Get the young man right there. Give him the mic. Go ahead, state your name and who you're with, please.
All right, Denny. Apologize for being a dork a couple minutes ago. I didn't mean to do that. I'm Ryan O'Hara from Race Chaser Online. My question for you is, this track has obviously been a good one for you, but also the last couple of races, it's been a little subpar. But with the pole this weekend, how much confidence do you have coming into the happy hour tomorrow?
Well, a lot. I mean, really, a day like today, just gives you a huge momentum boost going into not only Sunday, but like you said, tomorrow. We know what my pit crew can do, and now we give them the #1 pit stall. It's a lot of big bonuses there that gets included with getting this pole. So not only that, but it also shows us that, hey, our cars have got some speed. So we now have to figure out, what we need to do on our race setup to make it run just speed like that for a substantial amount of time. The good thing that I saw is that, we kept doing it on older tires. The older and older tires, our car kept getting faster. So that's typically what you want around this racetrack. And so even though we've had struggles here these last couple runs, I feel like we're starting to come on to our own here, especially in the chase. Really these chase races when you're in a championship battle is always a little bit different as well. Last year we weren't we were way back in the points after missing some races, and 2012 is a different beast. So really I'm excited to run on Sunday and really hopefully lead some laps and establish ourselves early.
All right, thank you.
Reed, you got a question? Yeah. Let's get Reed the microphone, and then we'll also hear from Kevin.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Denny, your magic number on Sunday is 11, just like your car number. Finish 11th or better and you're in. Can you afford to think about that, or do you just have to run your race? No,
I think that the competition level is just too close and tight to be able to think you're going to coast to a 11th place finish. I mean, it's nowadays the difference between 11th and 3rd and 20th is not that much. So you've got to go all out every single lap and fight for every position on restarts. So really, from my standpoint, there is no backing into this thing and coasting our way to Homestead. We have to go out there and perform at a high level, or else we're not going to make it. There's too many other cars that are too good for us to think that we're going to just ride around and take our spot.
We're also joined by our third fastest qualifier. That's Kevin Harvick. He drives a number 4 Budweiser Chevrolet for Stewart Haas Racing. Kevin, congratulations on a good qualifying effort. How's your car, and what's your outlook for Sunday?
Yeah, I just didn't connect all the dots. On my laps there in the last round, I got about half on one lap and half on the other lap, so just didn't put a very good lap together. But our car's been really fast. It's really good in race trim, so I think everything's good.
Questions now. We'll open it back up for either Kevin or Denny. Let's go here to Tom right there in the middle.
Hi, Kevin. Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. Keselowski said you got a 10th on the field, and you're the fastest car in race trim. Do you feel that way?
I didn't think my car was that fast, really. Oh, you were talking to Kevin.
I feel good about our car. It's been fun to drive so far, so we just got to keep working on it. The nature of this garage is not to usually have an advantage by the time the race rolls around. There's too many smart people in this garage to usually maintain that. So we have to keep working and keep trying to make our car better. But they unloaded really well, and you know, every lap's been good for us.
Back here to Bob. Raise your hand there, Bob. They got you.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. Kevin, does this qualifying result relieve maybe any, if your team had any sort of worries just about the weekend? You guys really haven't been in the position that some of the other guys have going into the eliminator, going into like an elimination race where you know you're gonna either need a win or have a great finish and need some help.
Yeah, I don't know about that. You know, I think you know, if we had to pick a track that we had to come to and come to race, I mean, we come here expecting to win every time that we come to this racetrack, or at least be in the mix. So, you know, this is a good track for us to come to confidence-wise, and obviously the first race went well, unloaded well, practice has gone well, qualified good. So, I mean, you just got to, you know, see how the weekend plays out. So you're either you're gonna hit a walk-off, or you're going to just race next week.
Stan?
Yeah.
Question.
Stan Creekmore with CompetitionPlus.com. Hamlin, did your crew chief say anything to you before qualifying started that made you feel confident to push the car that much harder to make it go that fast?
No, not at all.
So how did you find it?
Honestly, like Kevin talked about, how he missed, you know, he pieced like half of a lap together. I literally, my second run and third run, I just hit every mark just perfectly. I mean, I knew when I hooked around the bottom, it was, and I got to get back to the gas quick, that, you know, I did everything I could to maximize. The first run, I mean, I couldn't quite see quite good enough into turn one to make sure I was dead on, and I think we were 13th or something like that, and that's kind of realistically where I thought I was going to be. But just, I'd seen with cycles on tires that guys were getting a little bit faster, and even though we weren't on scuffs in practice, that whatever reason, I just hit the marks perfectly those last two runs, and that means more than any crew chief can adjust with a track bar or wedge or anything like that. With adjustments, you making sure you hit your marks means more in time than any of that.
Al, you got a question?
For either of you guys, Al Pierce from Auto Week, I know your answer might change after Sunday, but right now on Friday night, how do you like this chase format, both of you? Just, is it okay, or would you tweak it, or let's just ride with it for a few years?
I think it's the best thing that's happened in sport in a long time, myself.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that this is, I mean, it's the best thing that's happened in a long time, and it's going to be around for a long, long time. I mean, even though some of the better teams throughout the entire year will probably get eliminated this weekend, some teams, other teams that hadn't performed great all year possibly could be moving on, you still have to go through the due process of making it all the way to the end. Just because you have the best record throughout the regular season in any other sport does not guarantee you to be in the championship matchup. You have to go through all the games before that. So we just, as our team, has done a good job of just grinding our way through this. We've got some good to average finishes throughout this. We haven't beat ourselves with bad finishes, and it's kept us in it. And now we have an opportunity to, if we hit on something here or Homestead, you know, we could win a championship. So I think that this is what this playoff format was formed for. I think it was formed for excitement. We've seen that every single week. This weekend will be no exception, and I'm sure next week will be no exception as well. And at this time of the year, over these last few years, we've been talking about it's a two-person race, and now we have 8 people with a legitimate shot at making it. That's exciting. And even though it may not be totally fair to the race teams, it's exciting from the fan standpoint, and they're the ones that are out here supporting us.
Thank you. Any additional questions? Okay, guys, listen, congratulations. Thanks for putting on a good show today, and good luck on Sunday.